Hi, I'm Maud Leger, and this is the Realtors Conspiracy Podcast, where we crack the code to real estate success. Learn from top realtors, entrepreneurs, and innovators about how to grow your business as we discuss real estate success stories, mindset, processes, motivations, and the key to their success. Check out our podcast episodes every Monday to crack the code to success for your real estate business. Welcome to the 200th episode of our podcast. It is hard to believe that we've come this far since our first episode in 2019, but we are here celebrating this exciting milestone with all of you. Throughout our journey, we've witnessed the real estate market go through many ups and downs, presenting realtors with both opportunities and challenges. But through it all, we've remained dedicated to helping our listeners crack the code to success. Over the years, we've covered a range of topics from building your brand to marketing your listings and everything in between. I've also had the privilege of interviewing many successful industry experts, and I am grateful for their contributions to our podcast. I am very excited to continue bringing you valuable insights and interviews that will help you succeed in real estate and grow your business. In this special episode, number 200, we are excited to present the Where Are They Now episode, where we catch up with past interviewees and see how they have evolved and grew their business since our last chat. This episode is packed with mini interviews where I asked our guests two critical questions. Question number 1, since we last met, what is the most impactful things that you have implemented in your business that brought you success? And question number 2, what's the one thing you've learned that has helped you be successful in your business that is your non-negotiable? We hope their answers inspire you to implement new strategies in your business and help you achieve your goals. Now, let's tune in and listen to the highly anticipated 200th episode of our podcast titled, Where Are They Now? Hi Clinton, thanks for joining us on the episode, the 200th episode. You were the number 1 episode back in November 2019.
Wow, that's crazy. I can't even think about that to process that. The pre-pandemic episode number 1 and now episode 200.
And before it was in person, now we're all on Zoom, so that's funny.
Definitely an honor to be here for episode 200. Thank you, Maud.
Thank you. So let's jump into it and I'll ask you the questions. Number 1 question is, since we met and we discussed in 2019, what is the one most impactful things that you have implemented in your business that brought you success?
Wow, that's a pretty big question. What is the most impactful thing that I've done? I'd have to say probably the one thing that I've done, which I think has made a huge difference, is just having a really polished listing presentation.
Nice.
Which incorporates all aspects of my business, as well as a very detailed CMA for my client that I'm presenting to, so that the information is very clear and specific of what we're doing and why I'm recommending it. So I'd say a really good listing presentation has been a big change in the past 3 years. Yeah,
That's amazing. It gets you presenting something that's professional, being in front of people, and it brought you success. I love it.
yeah. There you go.
Nice. And then I guess the second question is, what have you learned that is the one thing that is now non-negotiable for you in your business that brought you success and continue to bring you success?
Gotcha. Non-negotiable. Well, one of the big parts of my why in life is giving back, and I'd say that my involvement with the community, in terms of, I've got a number of different projects I'm involved in, but just my involvement with the community and giving back on a regular basis, both time and resources, has that provides me a lot of fulfillment and a lot of joy and a lot of meaning, and so that really helps to keep me going. So that would be a non-negotiable for sure.
That's amazing because it fills your bucket, so it's positive. It
Yeah,
helps others and it helps you succeed. So
yeah, you
I
got
think
it.
that's
You got it.
amazing.
Yeah.
Very cool. Anything else you wanted to share with anyone? Anything that you're doing that you're proud of or that helped you in your business?
Um, it's just this business requires a lot of attention. It's moving and changing all the time, as you know, and so just staying on the pulse of the information, having lots of conversations, and just really researching constantly is something that really helps me to build confidence and helps me to understand where we're at and where things are going and. So just constantly working hard and staying on top of the information is very key for me. It's easy to get very busy in this business and get caught up in showings and listings and different things, and then you can let those good habits you've formed to get you there slide, and then you can go into a rut. So I find just staying on top of those things on a regular basis, no matter what, is an important thing for me from my perspective. Yeah.
Hi, Jeannie. Thanks for joining us on the 200th episode of our podcast. Since we met in 2019 in person pre-COVID, what's the most impactful things that you have implemented in your business that brought you success?
I think, to be honest, for me, it has just been a continue with the things that work for me, which is really, kind of focusing on the relationships that I build with people. My business has continued to grow since then. I mean, obviously, it's been a pretty different couple of years in everybody's world, not just in real estate. And I think that, we all want our business to grow kind of through referrals if we can. I haven't really changed too much of my business about that. Now I'm 10 years in to real estate, and I'm lucky enough that kind of I've tweaked things. Like the biggest change probably is kind of I redid my website, which was kind of a portal into people understanding who I am, but it's still at its core the same thing. So moved to Hammond, just kind of got a bit of a facelift over COVID. I think especially now, my focus has always been with people that are relocating to whether it be new neighborhoods or from different cities. I want them to really kind of figure out where they're going to be living and enjoy the neighborhoods, the businesses, and really, like, that has always been my focus, because that's what really connected my husband and I to the city when we moved here. And that was a huge challenge during COVID, because people that were moving to the city didn't have any access to any of these things. I was worried that kind of people were kind of escaping something, all the articles about people leaving condos to come to bigger properties, but they were going to come out here and all they were going to experience was their house and not really the community and the events. So we kind of used that time a little bit to try and kind of keep the Move to Hammond presence up, so that the businesses got support, but also that people were kind of somehow feeling connected. And then now, obviously, for the last year, I guess, now we're looking at people being able to get back out. So it's nice to feel that kind of come back. Since we met in 2019, like, it really, was such the business felt very much like everything was always a panic, that it was, you were, kind of, whether you were in competition to beat how many people. There weren't really any kind of big strategic changes for what I did, other than, every year I kind of look back and go, is it still working? Okay.
Right.
We get those phone calls all the time of, wouldn't you want more leads? Don't you want this? Yesterday I got a call from a guy like, do you want to buy some signage on fences? And we all know the city's full of lots of billboards for spreading the word and stuff. But I think, if depending on what you're trying to build and what you're trying to connect with, I haven't really felt like I feel like what I do connects me with, kind of my people, the people that enjoy working with me, that I enjoy working with, that we are, kind of the right fit. And I feel like, kind of, until that starts to change, like, if I start finding I'm not, kind of connecting with the right people or providing them the right level of service, that I'll kind of just keep keep doing this, kind of the status quo version, ever changes, tweaks here and there, but so far kind of just focusing on those relationships is continue to work.
Nice. And giving you the peace of mind of knowing that you're doing the right thing. I get that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
So in second questions for this, we have, what is the one most critical, non-negotiable aspect of your business?
I think for me, I know it's going to sound so silly, but I think you have to, for me, it's like, because I tend to work almost exclusively with people looking for homes. Like I don't tend to, I have a couple of, investors and that sort of thing, but my focus really is homes. And I feel like for people to really kind of connect with me and enjoy working with me, whether it be for the buy or for the sell, I find that the relationship doesn't work if there is not trust, like an absolute trust. I don't mean that it's like blindly, like, let me, I'm very much like, I'm never going to point to things and say like, just sign here, don't worry about it, shove the paper and that sort of thing. But I think that there has to be an inherent trust between both sides for us to know that we're looking out for each other's interests, or not looking out for that I'm looking out for my client's interests, and that they trust that. The fast pace of real estate the last few years, there really isn't time for you to question, for a buyer or a seller to question the intentions behind who they're working with. So with myself, it doesn't mean that we're perfect and we don't make mistakes and we're going to know everything, like we don't have a crystal ball of exactly what's going to happen, but I think you have to trust that I have your best interests top of mind. Otherwise, there's so many other moving parts that things are kind of are moving at such a pace that it's impossible to then also be slowed down, second guessing, kind of where you think, kind of my interests lie.
Hi, Justine. Thanks for joining us on our 200th episode today. And then we met in September 2020. So tell us, since then, what is the most impactful things that you have implemented in your business for success?
Well, it has been a wild 2.5 years since we first met in September 2020, and there's been a number of things that we've implemented. But one thing that I'm really excited to share is something that I think most agents who especially those who run a team, would be interested in, and this is our accountability framework. I know one of the biggest struggles that especially team leads share when I speak with them is how to get agents focused on doing the right income producing activities. And it's something that we have a lot of new agents on our team. We've really expanded over the last couple of years with our agents and our roster. And the one thing that we were having agents ask us is like, what am I supposed to be doing during the day? Like, yes, I get leads, but what, and like, I have these things that I'm supposed to be doing. What are the actual things that are going to be doing? So what we did was the management team sat down, we came up with a couple of blocks of items that we, know are actual income producing activities, sat down with our team, our buyer agent team, and was like, hey, we have this idea. It's all about accountability. What do you guys think? And can we hold you accountable to these by removing your duty shifts if you don't follow these income producing activities? And it was an overwhelming yes. And it has changed the entire culture in our office in like 2 months. It's absolutely wild, and it's really, I think a part of the reason why people work on teams is they need that accountability sometimes. And so, as an organization, we owe it to our team members to provide that framework for them and actually hold them accountable. Because it's one thing to say it, and it's another thing to do it. And I give major kudos to my brother, our sales manager, for that.
I think like a lot of agents are busy, but don't know what to do.
Totally.
So having the structure and the accountability from the team is a phenomenal add-on for you.
Yeah, it gives them a checklist of things to do, because otherwise, we were finding they were like, well, I'm in the office 9 to 5, or I'm in the office 4 or 5 hours a day, but like nothing's happening. And you'd sit down and dive with them, and they'd be like, well, I check with the MLS for an hour. Okay, but is that an income producing activity, or are you just doing it because you want to start your computer, right? So now it's like, hey, I know I have to like call at these leads, that I need to follow up with these people. I want to prep for my open house. I need to, and it gives them that just like checklist of things to do.
Yeah, I love it. And at the same time, it gives them income producing activity, so it's a target for them. It's motivating, it's empowering, it's great.
Yeah, well, and it's interesting you say that, from like that it is income producing, because what we did was we stepped back and we said, okay, the average income that our agents on our buyer side, this is what they want to make. What are the activities like? Because we know exactly how many open houses, how many showings, how many whatever. And then we're like, that's going to be our foundation for these accountability things. So we're not just like pulling things out of a hat. Like, it is all geared to, we know exactly how much they need to do to hit this income.
Yeah, I love it. And realtors don't really like to work the 9 to 5 and to just come to sit in an office from 9 to 5. Now they have specific things to do. I love it.
Yeah, they do not like working 9 to 5, but I think it's very important. Like, I think it's, it is a job at the end of it.
But now they get the structure behind it.
Yeah.
Amazing. Thanks for sharing that. Second questions for you today is, what is the one thing that is the most critical, non-negotiable for you and for your business?
Integrity.
Nice.
I think that, and it impacts every piece of our business, and how we operate. And I've been very fortunate to work with my parents, who I think are, have that character. And it's something that we instill with everything that we do from bottom to top in this company. Whether it's with clients, we are, we say what we're going to do, and so integrity is just very, very important. It's how we carry ourselves. It's the value by which we measure our team members, whether they're agents or administrators, that everybody acts with integrity. And I think that is really the non-negotiable piece to our business and how we operate.
I love how it's a non-negotiable for how you show up in the world to your clients, but also who you're recruiting into your team.
Very important piece. It's a very important piece, because, at the end of the day, like, we have one time to make a first impression, and real estate is such a personality-based business. But so if I'm not working with people that I know are acting with integrity, then they just can't be part of our team. And I think that is one of the big pieces to how we've been able to grow, while still maintaining our brand reputation.
Hi, Pinder. Thanks for joining us on the 200th episode for our podcast. It's been since 2021 that we met, April 2021, actually, so exactly 2 years ago. So tell us, since we last met, what was the most impactful thing that you have implemented in your business that brought you success today?
Definitely. First, I just want to thank you for having me on again. It's very humbling that you'd like to hear from me again. But going right into your question, I'd say the biggest thing that we've implemented in our business is looking at the entire year in January or even December and booking an event or a value add at least once a month for the entire year. And it holds us accountable, it gets everything booked, and it gets us kind of into a plan. Because as we look at our numbers, what we realize is a majority of our business, upwards, depending on the year, to 80, 81%, I think was the highest, we are dealing with past clients, referrals, and people we know. So we realize is, instead of dumping money into, let's say, advertising and trying to get new people, why not invest in our people, the people who've already proven to us that they are what's going to grow our business, people we already like and we have relationships with. So chances are whoever they send us are like-minded, nice people, the kind of people we want in our network. So that's probably the biggest thing that we've implemented, since we used to do 1 or 2 events a year. And now, like I said, we have at least 12 throughout the year, a lot of them being in-person events now that COVID is kind of taking a back seat. And then even some digital stuff or getting out home show tickets or things like that. So we want some sort of touch point at least 12 times a year. And that's been a huge, kind of change in our business, something we've implemented, and we can see the impact right away.
Wow, this is amazing. Exactly. The impact you're seeing. And then it's kind of twofold, because you do it, you plan for an event, but you also plan it ahead. You don't go through the month and then try to look for the next event. You do it in December or January. That must be amazing.
Yeah, and it holds you to it. That's the other part. We have all these ideas and then it doesn't happen. We don't actually do it. I'll do it next year. Well, now, the dates are already set. Marketing pieces are made, and we did it as a team. So that's the I'm lucky where we have a team. So maybe if it was just me, I'd make these plans and maybe not follow through. But now I'm dedicated. I've made this commitment to everybody else, so I have to follow through and do it, which has been really wonderful. The feedback from the clients is phenomenal.
Amazing. That's such a great success story already. I love it. Thank you. And then number 2 was, what is the one most critical non-negotiable aspect of your business right now?
So that's going to be family time. That's something that really lacked, for a few years. With God's good grace, we did really well. And, business was super busy, working 10, 12, 14 hours a day, 7 days a week. Sometimes I'd leave, my son would be asleep, I'd get home and he was asleep. And I thought, there's no point in having this success if I don't get to spend time with my family, plus my own mental health, not be burnt out and be the best that I can be. So Fridays after 1 o'clock, all my clients know I'm not answering, I'm not available. If there's an emergency, there are team members who can, jump in that time frame. Otherwise, we'll talk on Saturday and we'll go from there. So Fridays after 1 o'clock, non-negotiable, that's family time. And for the most part, I've also added in bedtime with my son. So I try not to work after 7 p.m. If there's, like an offer date or something that we can't get past that has to be after 7, so I'd say maybe, 2-3 times a month, I might go against that rule. So that one's slightly negotiable. But for the most part, I put my son to bed every night. And great. And then the Fridays is non-negotiable. So it's done wonders for my relationship with him. I feel we bonded more. And you know what? I was afraid the clients might not like that, but if anything, it showed them that I was human and I wasn't just money hungry, and I was a family person and I cared about something more than money. And so far, every reaction has been positive. Oh, you know what? That's great, Pinder. You know what? You deserve that. No problem. We'll call you on Saturday. I'm like, wow, everybody's been very receptive, where I was worried at the beginning. Oh, I'm supposed to be available 24/7. What are people going to say? But it's been wonderful.
Yeah, that's a huge important factor for a lot of agents that go, want to service, want to please, but then you take your family and your own health aside. So you have to put your oxygen mask on yourself first on the airplane. So therefore, like, doing that for you and your family first, and then servicing your client to the best of your ability, for sure.
Yeah, so that's the 2 biggest things I think that have been a big impact since we spoke last in regards to my business.
Hi, Todd and Nikki. Thanks for joining us on the episode. We met 2019 and then we met again on Zoom in 2020. So tell us, since we last met, or since we met from the beginning, what is the most impactful thing that you've implemented in your business that brought you success?
Well, first of all, thank you for inviting the preferred pair on your 200th episode.
Yes, thank you. We feel
in
honored.
Our 10th anniversary as the preferred pair. So there you go. Yeah, exactly. So it has been, there has been some growth on our end since we last spoke. As Nikki and I were talking earlier, we have since that time we've really upped our staging game. We've got a couple warehouses full of staging inventory. We are constantly refreshing that inventory, and we felt that we had to do that so that we could provide our clients with timely services in any market condition. So, in those tougher market conditions, when houses tend to sit a little longer,
and there's no inventory available.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't want to run into those situations where a stager was running out of inventory because listings just weren't turning over. So we've refreshed it. We're constantly refreshing it. We're constantly bringing it up to today's, trendy standards. And so we've invested a lot of time and money in that. Obviously, Jen
we have about 1,500 square feet of warehouse space. And like Todd said, we have very much expanded our inventory, and we've invested a lot of time and effort and money sourcing to ensure that we have, the most up-to-date, stylish, trendy things that we can, stage our listings with to ensure that we stand out in the market, which also in turn reflects, more money for our clients and less days on market.
We've come a long way in terms of, advising our clients to do the most impactful things to prepare on their end, such as, it may be something, it may be kitchen counters, it may be it may be paint, it may be, you know, it could be even a new vanity in the washroom. It could be anything like that. But our clients, you know, I think before there was that mindset where, well, they don't really want to spend the money. And I think that we've really done a really good job of identify or letting our clients know why and what they're going to get in return for that investment. So, you know, I mean, like we just had a listing in St. Catharines where we had new counters put in the kitchen. We had new runners on the stairs and the house was completely painted. It was about, I don't know, maybe $7,000. But, you know, we said, you know, I think you're going to probably get about $50,000 more value out of this. And it sold in 5 days. They tried to sell it with another agent. Previous to that. And not only did they get top money, it sold in 5 days. So those are things that we do, and we do it with conviction because, and we do it, you know, we do, and we explain the methodology behind it, and our clients haven't given us much resistance on that. I mean, because they do trust us.
Yeah, I like that you put the warehouse together, you have your staging, you're upgrading it, making it nicer and more modern, and that it's twofold, right? It's servicing your clients to give them the most money, but also preventing from the low inventory issues that stagers could have. So it's a full, well-rounded strategy there.
Exactly. And then this way we also are very much hands-on in the staging capacity, because we all know that, you know, both Todd and I are type A people. So it's nice that we get to actually stage it ourselves and ensure that it looks exactly the way that we want it to, because, you know, we want to see it from point A all the way to the finish line, right? And that way we can kind of manage that aspect of it as well.
Amazing.
And we've you know, we've had Jenna on our team for I think she's in her 3rd year right now with us.
Yeah. She'll be 4th year.
4th year.
Nice.
And she's an accredited staging professional as well. So her and Nikki collaborate really well together on that. I do a lot of the heavy lifting and they tell me what to do as far as that stuff goes. But well, I hang artwork too. So anyway,
he's the truck driver.
Yeah, I try. Yeah, exactly. So, but we you know, you don't want to all have everybody with the same strengths, and I think we have a lot of diversity in our small but mighty team that we have.
Yeah. For sure, diversity makes sense, because if not, you all are the same, like the same cooks in the same kitchen type thing. But if you have skills in different areas, that helps.
Exactly.
Yeah, and you know what, I keep, you know, we keep telling our clients that, you know, like honestly, our staging has become a well-oiled machine. I mean, we stage everything in some way, shape, or form, every single listing, whether it's clearing it out and starting from scratch, or whether it's, you know, using what the client currently has. But we've had, you really are a well-oiled machine, because I mean, we did a 1,500 square foot condo in like, you know, like hour and 15 minutes. We just know we have a system in place by which we do things. You know, we all kind of have those little roles that we do and intertwine with each other, and we just, it just has become, it's really evolved that way. So it's not like we're there all day doing this stuff. I mean, we're in and we're out. We do our job. We have sold right away in to do our photography, and you guys do a wonderful job. This is, I think, 10 years with us and 13 years with me.
Yeah.
So it's been from we've never wavered on that either. So it's we've come a long way that way, for sure.
Thank you. Yeah, no, that's great. And then I think that gives the best to your clients, and that's all that matters, because it brings us to the most critical, non-negotiable aspect of your business. What would it be?
For me and Nikki, it's really, really easy. You know, like our guiding principles are honesty, trust, and integrity. So those are things that we never waver on. Those are non-negotiables. And you know, if you've got that, you can maintain that consistency throughout the way you do business. So our clients know exactly what they're getting when they deal with us. I mean, our clients have said to us many times, we know you guys say what you mean, and we know that you don't mess around, and you they might not always like what we have to say, but they respect what we have to say, and we work together as a team, and they trust us. And you know what, it just works out. You have to be confident, you have to be honest, and in turn your clients are very loyal and appreciative of that, and we just work together as a team.
Yeah.
For sure. And I think the follow through is key too. Something we've never, staggered on is saying we're going to do something and not following through with it. So from the moment we meet our clients, we're very honest and upfront. We communicate very well, and we ensure that, our service level kind of stays the same from the beginning of when we start working together to the very end. And then, even then after, right? So we just want to make sure that we give our absolute all to every single client with every single listing, or whether they're looking to buy or lease. We're just there to give our absolute best so that we get the best results for our clients.
Yeah.
And we work together like with our clients as a team. So we really, it's so much more productive and less stressful when your conversation with your clients on day 20, if it goes to that, is the same conversation that you had with them on day 1. And it really puts everybody at ease because they understand things as you go along. And another thing I will add too is communication. We communicate very, very well, often, consistently, and our clients don't ever wonder what the state of anything is that we're doing, because we always make sure that they're always a part of in the know on what's going on. So communication is really, really key, and I think that separates us from a lot of people.
Sure.
And we're proud of that. Yeah.
Hi, Ash. Thanks for joining us on the episode today, the 200th episode. We met in December 2019. And then the question is for you, what is the most impactful thing that you've implemented in your business that brought you success?
Great. Thank you, Maud. One of the moves we made back in 2019 was we brought in a new position on our team as the team manager. Okay, so it was basically moving my existing admin to a position of team manager. And what did that involve? Well, it's basically, as a team manager, her main focus now became to help agents on our team implement strategies to basically help them grow their business, along with an accountability piece backed up behind it, right? So, she's responsible for coaching the realtors, personalized coaching and training to help them hit their goals, increase their productivity, and helping them with their business strategies.
Yes.
So that's kind of the biggest move, and it's resulted in all of our agents being very, very successful.
Oh, that's amazing. So it's more like a mentor coaching position to make sure they're successful, not just managing or doing admin.
That's correct. So there's like even a daily accountability piece, a daily check-in, 5 minutes you're checking in. She checks in, and then we have coaching once a week, and then bi-weekly with myself.
Love
et
it.
cetera, right?
I love it.
That's kind of the biggest piece, and it's helped everyone improve their game.
Yeah, I love it. Thank you. And then number 2 question is, what's the one thing that you've learned that is a must-have in your business for you, your non-negotiable?
Yeah. So that's personally for me, it's developing a growth mindset along with a morning routine, non-breakable. So, having this consistent morning routine for me helps me set the tone for the day. It creates structure, discipline. Whatever it is, it's a disciplined morning routine. I'm checking my priorities, schedules, focusing on whatever is high impact for the day, highest return on investment or whatever it might be. This is what I have built into my business, and it works for me.
Hi, Carlene. Thanks for joining us on the 200th episode today. We met in 2019 and 2020 for 2 episodes. And now the question is, since we last met, what's the most impactful thing that you've implemented in your business that brought you success?
Yeah, it's been a while. It's definitely been a while. A lot has changed. I think the most important thing that has changed for me in my business, and I know it sounds so cliche, but it's really embracing who I am and really being myself and not what I think that, potential clients or other people expect me to be. I've really kind of like embraced just being who I am. And the nice byproduct of that has been attracting other people that are similar to myself, or that, we work really well together. So it's also brought me a really good client base.
That's amazing. Just by attracting the people you want to work with that are like you, it brought
Yeah,
success.
yeah. Or just, I think being like authentically yourself just naturally brings good people into your sphere, whether it's personal or professional. And I've really tried to embrace that over the years.
I love it. Instead of fitting into a box that people think might be the key, it's not. It's you. You're the key.
Yeah, exactly.
Nice. I love it. And then the second question is, what is the one thing that you've learned that is so important for your business? It's your non-negotiable.
My non-negotiable would be the balance that I have between my work life and my family life. Since I've started to be more myself and attract more ideal clients and more people who are similar to me and that they might have young kids, I found it a lot easier to find that balance because I don't have extremely demanding clients who are calling me at all hours. That doesn't happen anymore because I've got I'm attracting these nice, great people into my sphere, and that has made that a lot easier to balance.
That's amazing. They respect your time, you respect their lifestyle. It goes hand in hand.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Amazing. Hi, Lauren. Thanks for joining us on the 200th episode today. And then we met back in December 2021. So tell us, since then, since we last first spoke, where you were new in real estate, what is the one thing that you've created or implemented in your business that had the most impact for you?
Well, thank you so much for having me today, Maude. It's so nice to see you again. I cannot believe it's been that long since we
Yes,
last spoke.
crazy.
I would say, I mean, the biggest thing that I did when we last spoke, I was with a different brokerage and I was a solo agent, brand new to the business. And since then, I've joined a team, which has been huge. I've learned so much and built relationships with so many other agents and just having many people to go to if I need help with something and lots of training and again just being a sponge and learning from those who have been in the business for many many years has been massive, and I think it's really impacted me and who I am as a realtor and how I can best service my clients. So I think that's definitely the biggest change since we last spoke.
Yeah, that's amazing. Going from a solo agent, not really knowing really what to do, how to grow, what systems you can put in place. There's so much going on.
Yeah, and I mean, I remember when I was first getting licensed, still kind of toying with the idea of did I want to join a team or did I want to go solo?
Yeah.
I tried it by myself, and it's very very hard. It's very hard to generate business. And with the team I'm on now, I have the team name behind me. I can leverage our marketing and all the services that we provide, and as well as what our brokerage can do. So it's been super helpful and really impactful for my clients,
That's
which is awesome.
Yeah. So you've been doing that for 1 year and you've seen some growth and some success.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, for sure.
So cool. Thank you. And then the second question is what is the one thing that you've learned that is your non-negotiable for you?
Yeah. So again, going back to when I was a solo agent, trying to find, the type of prospecting that worked for me. I think that's key right now is just trying to have, as many conversations as I can in a day.
Yeah,
Talk to at least 5 people a day, even if it doesn't, if it's not real estate related, right? Because we're in the business of people and building relationships. And I think that's really, really important that I try to at least talk to 5 people every day.
that's amazing. How do you keep yourself accountable for that?
Good question. So we're actually we're very good at keeping each other accountable on our team. We look out for one another and make sure we're staying on top of what we say we're going to do, because that'll then lead to us hitting our goal, which is, what we want to do, obviously. So just keeping the accountability within our team and, doing it together. We go out door knocking together and cold call together. So we make it like a fun experience. I know there's many agents out there that don't do it, or it's kind of like they don't want to. But if you kind of change your mindset about it and you make it fun, it is actually really fun.
Nice. So 5 people a day is your non-negotiable, and it could be anything: phone calls, door knocking, out grocery shopping, anything.
Yeah, I've run into random people at the grocery store or like out in public, and we somehow talk about real estate. I don't know how, but it ends up turns into that kind of conversation. So, yeah, just trying to have as many conversations as I can.
That's amazing. That's so great. Well, thank you for sharing that. Those are great tips that every realtor should be doing. And I think that would be an inspiring story for new realtors wondering right now if they should stay solo or join a team.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it really depends on you and your comfort level. I know for me, I didn't really have, people ready to kind of go when I became licensed. So I think joining a team was the best decision I made for myself.
Hi, Madeleine. Thanks for joining us on the episode 200. We have 2 questions for you today. Number 1 is, since we last met, which was in 2022, last April, a year ago, since we last met, what is the most impactful thing that you have implemented in your business that brought you success?
Yeah, so since we last spoke, I have entirely transitioned to running my business on social media. So I don't do any other forms of lead generation.
Love it. How is that working for you?
Sometimes too well, because my phone, it doesn't stop answering a lot of questions, even just in my comments on my social media and my direct messages. We all know there's been a little uncertainty in the market. So just fielding questions and, getting first-time buyers prepared for those purchases has taken a lot of my time online, but I'm fortunate enough to have that time to manage that.
Yeah, that's amazing. So all your marketing strategy, your lead generating, you're all doing online through organic, answering questions, doing private messages, all of that.
Yeah, exactly. I haven't paid, since we talked, I haven't paid a single cent towards online marketing for myself.
That is fantastic. I'm so glad to hear. Very cool.
Yeah. Thank you.
And the second question is, what is the one thing that you've learned that is now a non-negotiable for your business?
So when we start as agents, we want to say yes to everything. We want to take every opportunity, even if we know it's going to waste our time. We're always like, what if this turns into something? But now with the added experience, I've learned how to manage my time a lot better. And I guess I can be a little more picky with the business I take on.
Yes, that's amazing. So it gives you the upper end on what business you do and what business you don't take on, if it's going to waste your time and your energy, I guess.
Absolutely. And the more deals you do, the more you learn that. So the more experienced you are, the more you'll learn how to handle your own time.
I love it. This is so great to hear this success. And you've been successful in the last year. You've grown your business. Tell us a little bit about that.
I have. So, speaking with you last year, I had just come off my real estate team, and I was just a freshly new solo agent, and I was a little scared to take that on by myself. But I did grow quite a bit last year. It has really been nonstop for me, even though we had a little slump in the market. I think the value add I show in my social media gives consumers confidence that I do know what I'm doing. So I've been really busy during the down period in the current market.
That's amazing. And one thing we talked about earlier that you mentioned, you work hard, so you didn't stop when the market stopped. How do you manage your time like that?
Yeah, so I think that all agents are in control of their own business. I think most agents are market dependent. We all know there's a lot of agents and they just depend on the swings in the market for their business. But I'm fortunate enough to not really have much responsibility in my life other than my business. I know it's not the case for the majority of people, but I do work long days, 12-hour days, 13, 14 hours sometimes. And it's all on my phone. I mean, if it's in my hand, I'm working.
Can do it. Yeah. And then the input you put in gives you the output of the business you're generating. So
Exactly.
hi, Neil. Thanks for joining us on the 200th episode today. We met on an episode in November 2021. So now we're in spring 2023. Tell us, since we met on this episode, what was the most impactful thing that you've implemented in your business for your success?
Wow, 200 episodes, Mo. That's incredible. And congratulations. And congratulations on your recent anniversary, too. I'm excited to be here always. And it's an honor. Thank you very much. I can't believe it was 2021 because so much has happened, right?
So much has happened for sure.
For sure. I think the biggest change probably is I'm a more tan than when we first had our first podcast. But
yeah, definitely taking more vacation. So that's awesome.
No, for sure. Well, the market's changed, of course, and what I've learned the most since we met and worked together is you really got to listen to the client's needs. And with markets changing, so do their needs and the things that they want to hear and digest. So my approach hasn't changed. It's always been that, chasing your potential, as we mentioned in our podcast. But I do think now I'm trying to be more attuned to what the client's needs are, because one thing that I overlooked, I think, over these the years being in business is you kind of give them all that promotional, I'm here, I'm ready to help you buy, ready to help you sell, and in some ways, when you're starting out your business, you are concerned about where the next business is going to come from.
Yeah.
But the reality is, our clients and people moving, they don't move that often. And once they get settled into their home, they get comfortable and they want to stay there. And with the market the way it's changing, they're not able to move all that often. So the needs and what they need to hear from you and what they need from you, it's different. It matures. And I've tried to change my message and be less of a, just promoting my business, but trying to help them with, content that's relevant to them and their home. Because the message ultimately, as I'd mentioned before, what makes them happy is information and things that they can use and that are relevant to them. So I try to have more conversations and listen to what they're asking and be a resource to any of those things that they might need at the time, which could be anything.
Yeah.
Right. It doesn't just mean, a roof or a plumber. They could need even just to chat and to catch up, and it's that relationship building in conjunction still with having a presence online. So that's the biggest impact, I'd say.
Very cool. Having a better understanding of their needs, but also being more casual in your conversation. I like that.
Yeah, because they don't always want to hear real estate, and I think sometimes as real estate professionals, we think all that people want to hear from us is real estate. But they really enjoy seeing, pictures of my kids playing basketball or going on vacation. Stuff like, well, that's where that's right. But that's where we relate as people first. And that's where that trust comes in. And I think ultimately when that gets blended into the relationship, because I've always wanted, when I've worked with my clients, as I mentioned, a lot of them become friends moving forward, and I like to stay in touch. And they shouldn't feel pressured to have to talk about their house all the time.
Sure.
And I love watching their families grow and yeah, actually, I had the good fortune of hosting a client event where we had a photo shoot.
Nice.
And a family photograph. We take them, and that's exactly what I really enjoy, is seeing their families grow over the years and being a part of that.
Yeah, being part of their whole life and being there for them. I love it.
That's the true impact, for sure.
Nice. And then tell us, what is the one thing that you've learned that must happen for you to be successful? What's your non-negotiable in your business?
So that's a good one, another relevant question. And because of the changing market, the times that we had to adjust through an event like the pandemic, which was unforeseen, and then you see the rate changes occur. I think the biggest key as a professional is to have the right skills for the right market. You know, because there's different skills that are required. There's different knowledge, there's different handling and strategies that go on. You know, bidding wars, weren't necessary. Pricing strategies for bidding wars weren't necessarily applicable, I would say, for the latter half of last year, right?
Yeah.
So if you're talking that language, and even the clients, they're so astute now, and they're like, well, but that might not fly, or we're not going to be fooled by that. You really have to be attuned to what's going on with the data, the way trends are going, what the sentiment of buyers and sellers, and in some ways, I guess you've got to be ahead, just at least slightly ahead of what's going on, to be able to guide your clients professionally. So I think the right skills at the right time and changing with the market are essential, because the old tricks, they're not going to work in every situation. So I found that to be an eye-opener.
Yeah, that's a
and
really
truly
good point.
important.
That's a really good point, to innovate and to adapt, not just to find one good strategy and keep it and try to use it for 20 years, because that's not going to fly.
That's right. Yeah, it's evergreen. It's constantly changing, and the dynamic of the clients, the dynamic of the market, and then ourselves, because sometimes we feel like, okay, we've done it. Hear it all. I say this. I try to avoid this, but as an industry speak, we hear agents often say, I've been in this for so long, and I've been doing it this many years, and it's well, what you've done that long ago doesn't necessarily apply to today. So I try not to be that.
Yeah.
I try to be what my clients need us to be and what they lean on. So.
Hi, Ruby. Thanks for joining us on the 200th episode. That's exciting to hear from you again after 1 year since we met. It was March 2022. So, since we last met, tell us, what is the most impactful thing that you have implemented in your business that brought you success?
I'll be honest with you, Maud. The most impactful thing it was already implemented in when we last spoke, but it was more consistency. I just maintained consistency, and I kept at it. I kept doing all the things I said I would do last year. I was true to myself. I was showing up on Instagram consistently, following up with clients consistently. So the consistency element that I basically was talking about last year, the positivity element, I just kept it all going and doubled down on all of that to get me where I am today.
Amazing. I love it. So now you're the true representation of being consistent and positive for 1 year, brings you success
1 year.
Exactly a year later. That's fantastic.
It's crazy when you think about it, because at this time last year, we were just coming out of the pandemic, and we were just getting back to reality and trying to deal with like the 0 to 100 really quick, right? So now things are settling everywhere.
And then what have you learned that is the one thing that must happen in your business for you to be successful? That would be your non-negotiable.
The difficult conversation. You have to have the difficult conversation. I know sometimes there is this, feeling out there that real estate is easy, it's fun, it's nice cars, it's good lunches, but that is a tiny, tiny baby percent. There's a lot of background, and one of that is the difficult conversation. Like, oh, my friend sold last year in January and they made this much. I want to make the same. You have to have a difficult conversation, right? You didn't sell then, We can't live in the past. We can only move forward. And we always have market values and market stats. There's always facts to support the difficult conversation. So that's where I come in. And like I've always maintained, I'm very genuine. I'm very honest. If someone wants to sell their house for 3 million, but it's only worth 2, that's a difficult conversation, but one that needs to be had, and not say, yes, 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 it's fine. Because at the end of the day, it's not going to be a comfortable journey for anybody.
I love it, because saying yes, yes, yes may get you the listing, but you're going to be wasting your time, your client's time, your energy, all of that you're trying to protect.
Yeah. And why? For what? Like, you know, like if you set the price point at the right point, everybody's going to be happy, right? Our job is obviously to help the seller make as much as possible, but you have to be realistic.
Yes.
Realism and honesty, they all really go hand in hand.
Hi, Tony. Thanks for joining us on the 200th episode today. So you met with me back in November 2019, one of the first episodes that we've done. And we talked a lot about know your why, your social media strategies and growth. And then we talked after COVID about the new norm. So tell us now, since we last met, what is the most impactful thing that you have implemented in your business that brought you success?
I would suggest that the markets have shifted quite a bit. I think most realtors, or just about any realtor in Canada anyways, should, acknowledge that things have calmed down. Like during COVID, things went a little bit crazy right across the country and into the US as well. Very low inventory, lots of bidding, low interest rates and stuff just made things nuts. So we're kind of back to what is the old normal, I guess, of, properties sitting on the market for a while. So you need to get people's attention. You need to stand out. And one thing that's been consistent from the very beginning, at least as long as I've known you, which is a long time now, is just quality marketing materials, right? So video, photos, they've all got to be professional. Since then, we've added in things like Matterport tours and floor plans and that sort of thing. Because more than ever, consumers are online looking for everything. And during the shutdowns and stuff, they got even more trained to go online to look for what they need before they head out into the world and get what they want. So yeah, you've got to attract your attention. You've got to stand out because there's more inventory. And you just need to see what sets you apart as a professional, as like a real estate agent, but also the properties that I'm marketing for people who have properties for sale. So if people are online and all they have is some like cell phone photos or some decent, but lower level kind of professional photos, they kind of skip through them really quickly. But if you've got compelling photos, you've got video that they can watch, you got 3D tours that they can actually walk through their homes with, that sets your property apart and just attracts more people there to actually show up, is what you really need at the end of the day, because all of that is just to get people in the door. Once they're in the door at the property, that's what really sells it. Whether or not they're going to buy it, they want to know what it smells like what it feels like to be there, right? But you got to get them in the door to make that happen. So you have to stand apart online. So
your high quality brings them in, and then once they're in, they can choose yes or no if it's the right fit.
Yeah, it's like, introducing yourself, or introducing a really good friend of yours, and you can hype them up and you can sell them. But at some point, your friend has to kind of do their part and sell themselves, right? But you're doing the part of doing the introduction, and then hopefully once they meet up, they hit it off and they get married and do whatever they got to do.
Nice. It's a perfect analogy. And the second questions we have for you is, since we met, so since 2019, for this episode, because we've known each other for way longer, but since the episode, what's the one thing you've learned that must happen for you in your business, your non-negotiable?
Just relying on professionals, I think, because we're just really busy, right? So I've got a lot to do in terms of, I'm still an individual agent. I don't belong to a larger team. So there's options for agents, right? So you can join a larger team and you can hand off a lot of the stuff that you do. So things like lead generation, follow up with clients, even the marketing stuff that we're talking about. Like they may have people on staff, or they have their go-to photographers sold right away to come in and do their stuff. As an individual agent, you just need to make those connections. right? So I need to build all that stuff. So I come to rely on certain people for certain things, so I can delegate and actually focus on clients and just taking care of what they need, and being there to show the property, being there to answer their questions, getting the thing ready for sale in the first place. So I know, like, there's a property that we had recently where it's easy enough for me to just contact you, right, and just hand over to professionals the things that I'm not good at. And I'm okay as a photographer for myself personally, but I don't have professional photography equipment. I don't have drones for videos. I don't have Matterport equipment and stuff. And I can go out and buy all that stuff, but I'm never going to be as good as somebody that does it 4 or 5 times a day. So it's easy enough for me to just show up at a property and then just wait for your crew to show up, and I'll have somebody inside taking photos, and I'll stand outside and, you know, shoot the breeze with the guy that's doing the drone for the outside of the property and that sort of thing. And I just sit back and let you do your job, right? And I do that when it comes to that. I do that when it comes to contractors that need to go in and do some work on the house. I do that if staging is involved. I mean, I'm part of the process, but ultimately I take my hands off and let the professionals do what they need to do. So that to me is a non-negotiable, mainly because I just can't do it. I can't do everything for every property. I just don't know how to do it, or I don't have, or have the desire to have the updated equipment that I need on an ongoing basis for that, right? So it's just easier for me to have those contacts, and then to share those contacts with my clients after the fact. Like if they need contractors for various things around their house, contacts for, you know, where to get good appliances that aren't too expensive, all that sort of stuff for them as well. So to become a resource for them once we're sort of moved on from the transaction that we've done.
Thank you for joining us for our 200th podcast episode. I hope you found it as inspiring and informative as we did. Throughout this episode, we learned powerful tips and insights on how to grow a successful real estate business and navigate different markets, as well as income-generating activities every realtor should be focusing on. We couldn't have reached this milestone without your support, and we want to hear from you. We value your feedback and suggestions for future topics and areas to cover. Please feel free to reach out with your thoughts and ideas. We're committed to continuing to bring you insightful and inspiring content in the future. If you have any ideas for guests or would like to be a guest on our podcast, please don't hesitate to reach out. We believe that everyone in the real estate industry has valuable knowledge and experiences to share that can help others grow. And we want to showcase them on our podcast. Thank you for being a part of our community, and here's to the next 200 episode and beyond.